Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. Content is intended to provide accurate information, however, is not intended as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult a financial, legal, or tax professional for specific information regarding your individual situation. Opinions expressed and provided are for general informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security.
Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's CFP certified financial planner, president and founder of TJ Stearns Inc., Tim Stearns, once again with us. Tim, welcome back in.
Peter, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, Tim. We appreciate the time, the opportunity, the perspective and guidance that you provide to Chicagoland area savers and investors. And welcome to the unofficial start of summer, Memorial Day weekend. Of course, the weekend that we honor those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice and fallen in the service of this country, and generally a weekend where people begin the summer vacation routines. Tim, you got anything planned for the summer?
My son is playing a little bit of 7-on-7 football, so we'll probably be doing that quite a bit. It's like another full-time job on the weekends, so we gotta go watch him. So
my son does the travel baseball, so
I'm
I'm well versed. But
busy.
Always enjoy probably like a cookout over the Memorial Day weekend, and then my birthday falls around that same time, so I usually get an extra day for the birthday weekend. It's nice.
Cool. Very good. I'll make sure I wish you a happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. So Tim, today we're going to be talking about controlling the variables that we don't have control over. And a lot of our financial outcome is determined by several variables that we don't have a great deal of control over. Now, summer's not the time to begin ignoring your finances. Money and life move on over the summer vacation, even though we might be in a little bit of a different routine and taking some breaks or vacations. But we need to take steps in our financial life and our progress to, as much as possible, control our level of exposure to those variables that we cannot control, correct?
Exactly. I mean, some of those things that we can't control. You can't control the market. You can't control what goes on in Washington, D.C. We've seen that time and time again. Obviously, we can't control what the Fed does with interest rates and, emergencies, that type of thing, and then international conflicts. I mean, those are things that are out of our control. That, yes, we worry about them, but we really can't do a lot about them. So that being said, there are things that we can control, and that's what we talk to our clients about. Like, for example, where they can place their money. What does their budget look like? How much do we spend beyond our budget? The amount of market risk we expose our assets to, which I don't think a lot of clients understand that right off the bat until they take a look at our risk analysis and see that they've kind of let things drift as far as going into stocks more than bonds that they meant to be in. How we position assets to transition into retirement. The sequence of returns risk is a huge thing that, people that are getting ready to retire need to be very wary of. Old 401k accounts that are out there. We work with the Department of Labor employee, and he was telling us that millennials have over $1 billion at all the different companies that they've been at. Because they change jobs every 2 or 3 years and they leave their 401ks in the background.
Right.
And they're paying fees. And I always tell clients, if you tell your son or daughter to give me a call, maybe we can consolidate some of that. Also, what is our tax plan for retirement? It seems like a lot of people, when they're doing tax planning, it's all reactive, not proactive. And, when we're doing a written income plan, we make sure that our clients understand exactly, what that bill looks like that they're going to have to be paying for taxes. And then, of course, how and when do we begin to collect Social Security? I know that the report that we have that, really tells you to the penny, like when you should be taking the money out versus, it's not cookie cutter. It's going to be very specific to a couple or even an individual, like when they should be taking it. When we do these reports, it's definitely an eye opener. I did it for one of my siblings, and he really, really liked how it got into the nitty gritty and showed him where that crossover was So that was beneficial to him and my sister-in-law.
Well, if you want to identify and address more of the things that you can control in your financial life, that's what the plan is all about. That protect and grow plan that Tim Stearns, a certified financial planner, a CFP, offers to help you put together, or if you've got a current plan, to spot check and identify areas that need to be addressed in current planning, or how to complete that plan. Many plans, unfortunately, just have a few holes that make it an incomplete plan. And Tim can help you identify those areas, ladies and gentlemen, and then address them or put that plan together, the Protect and Grow plan. If you would like to take advantage of that opportunity, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim jotted down a couple notes and the difference of what we can't control and what we can control. And it struck me as I was sort of writing down a few of the topics that you addressed. It's like the news cycle seems to only focus on those things that we cannot control, that we have really no say-so over, and very little time talking about and educating about the areas that we can have that level of control over. It sort of makes me feel like that the news cycle would make us feel as though we're helpless in the financial progress we're making.
Right. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, bad news sells, right? So, I mean, it seems like they're always, whether it's the weather, and they have bad snow coming here or a rainstorm, what have you, they're going to talk about that. They're not going to talk about what a great day it was, yesterday. So, yeah, I think that is a shame, because you have to realize, again, what you can control. And then we tell our clients, make sure that we're addressing, and you are addressing what is in your power to make sure that you like the outcome, versus stuff like the market. We don't have control over that,
Yeah.
But you can put in things like stop losses. That's one of the things we talked about in our retirement class last weekend. Those are things that you can definitely control. Your diversification, those are all things that we try to help our clients see where they're at. Because again, what we see a lot of right now is style drift, where people are. I had a woman who's a widow come in, and she had 80% of her money. She's retired now, and her husband passed just a year ago. 80% of her money is in stocks, and then that was what he was in charge of. And she has not made any changes, which is a very scary idea to me. And especially, I know her; she's not a risk taker. So, when I pointed that out to her, she gasped a little bit. So, if we can help people do that, I tell them to give us a call, and we'll take a look at where their money is and what we can control risk on.
Well, when you talk about diversification, Tim, you've mentioned the fact that money is a little limited in its ability to do things. It's not a great multitasker, and there's kind of four big jobs that any dollar can do for us: growth, safety, liquidity, or provide us with an income. Isn't that what diversification is about? It's that if we have $5, we're not putting all five of them on any one of those goals, that we get, one of those goals with each dollar. And then with the fifth dollar, we double up on the one that's really important to us.
Right. Well, I mean, as you know, money can do four different things for us. It can grow, it can be safe, it can be liquid, and it can provide income. And it just depends on what we're earmarking. And I think, again, that's where the income allocation plan comes in, so that we are, showing people exactly what does your budget look like and why are you going to be doing what you're doing with your money. Make your money work smart is what we always tell our clients. So that's the thing for sure.
Well, again, if you would like to identify those priorities and make sure that each one of your dollars is working toward the priority that you identify as most important to you, that's what the Protect and Grow plan is really all about. It's the balance of protection and growth, and how you can position your dollars and allocate your dollars to achieve both, or whichever is the priority for your situation. And again, that's what a certified financial planner, having that fiduciary responsibility to your best interest, can help you achieve and accomplish through that planning process. Tim Stearns, again, Chicagoland's CFP, certified financial planner, willing to help you put that protect and grow plan together. No cost, no obligation. Just pick up the phone now and give a call. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And Tim, you mentioned income allocation. You also make an offer for a book. Income allocation is the title of the book, but that book really does help us identify areas that we can control that most financial plans actually don't even address.
Right. And that's, we see that quite a bit. Most advisors are good at getting you through the accumulation period, but getting you down, coming up the mountain to the accumulation and coming back down, not so much. They're not talking about taxes. We have a CPA here. They're not talking about a 401k and how that looks if the client is currently working, because they don't get paid to manage that money. They also aren't doing a lot of income allocation planning, like a budget and that type of thing. And then of course, how much can you save? I don't see a lot of advisors doing that. And we do all that. And of course, the other thing I would say that we do well is, we have an estate attorney on staff. So if we have issues with, multiple marriages, things have changed, that's stuff that's very dynamic. Our lives are dynamic. We can help with that.
Well, again, if you would like to get that protect and grow plan put together, it'll help you identify those areas that can be improved, or you can prioritize with your money to maybe provide some protection against those areas that are outside of our control, like the market, like Washington, like tax rates and brackets and tax law changes, those things that so often drive the news cycle, but that we do not have to leave ourselves susceptible to. That's what the protect and grow plan will help you identify, and what a specific written income plan for retirement, the income allocation plan, further helps you to arrive at conclusion and determine that outcome for you. Pick up the phone, give a call to Tim Stearns, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, that is really why you talk about that income allocation so much, and why you stress the importance of having an income allocation, especially once we leave the paycheck behind, and some of those variables increase substantially the risk that we will face if we don't have that plan.
Well, and we talk to people about that. There's different things you need to do with your money. Have a growth bucket, of course, but at the end of the day, it's about paying our bills. And so having an income allocation plan, when the market slid like it did last March, our clients that have gone through that process weren't worried. They were quite, they want to know what was going to go on with the market. Luckily, a couple of our portfolios had gone to cash and didn't go down 22%, thankfully. And one only went down 2.5%. So these are the things that we're doing better than most, because we have daily stop losses on them. And, with an income allocation plan, that you're paying your bills. So when the market takes a hit like that, it doesn't feel great, but that you're still able to make the pay on that bill. So I think that's huge. And I also think that, making sure that exactly quantifying what you are going to have to pay in taxes, not after the fact, is also a big deal.
Part of the income allocation strategy. If you'd like to learn more, actually call now and request a copy of the book, Income Allocation. Tim makes this book available on every program. He makes 10 copies available to the first 10 callers with at least $500,000 saved for retirement. Now, Tim is willing to provide help, assistance, and guidance to anyone serious about your planning and financial future. But certain strategies do work best for those in a certain category, those that have been serious about saving and investing and building and accumulating that nest egg for retirement. That is the income allocation strategy. If you've got 500,000 to 5 million saved, and you want to learn about how to be more efficient and effective with your money and leverage those dollars to provide more throughout retirement, you need to learn about these strategies described in Income Allocation, the Essential Retirement Planning Strategy Guidebook. Give a call now, request your copy. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Because, Tim, a lot of those risks that we face in retirement, a lot of the fears and the doubt and the worry that's on many retirees' minds, it doesn't necessarily have to be those are not necessarily things that we are forced to face. It's just that the traditional status quo way of planning leaves us exposed to many additional risks that income allocation actually helps to address.
Exactly. And that's again why, if your portfolio takes a hit, but you know you're going to be able to pay the bills, that it's not as bad. So you're not drawing from your growth account when it's down, and you're actually pulling out more money than what you had planned. And that's what we see a lot with other advisors. Is that they're just gonna, we always explain to baby boomers who've had a 401k since the 70s that you're a net seller of assets now. If hopefully you grow it, but if you don't, you're gonna be a net seller of assets. How do you fix that? And I think income allocation answers all that.
Well, Tim, we've got some additional goals for our money, even after the day that we retire. We'd like our accounts to continue to have some reasonable level of growth or provide an income. Are we forced to take risks and therefore place our portfolio and our end results outside of our control, outside of the realm of being able to be determined if we are shooting for reasonable growth or reasonable rates of income?
Unfortunately, we've had a couple of people come in here and, they were late to the party as far as getting a 401k started. So the one gentleman that we had, he had small cap value and small cap growth, and that was it in his plan. And, he did really well last year, but at the end of the day, the risk he took was off the charts. And I don't agree with that methodology at all.
And in that case, we don't have principal protection. We don't have income protection, right, Tim?
Not at all. No. I mean, if the market goes down, he's going to be one of the first to go.
So his results are completely at the whim of something that's outside of his control.
I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely. I
mean, but the choice of how to invest those funds, that is within his control. So it doesn't have to be that way.
Right. But unfortunately, and this, like I said, this guy was, late in starting his 401k. So he felt like he had to really be aggressive, and he's 63 years old. We had to tell him that that's kind of a crazy methodology. I would not use that.
Well, again, I know that, Tim, you help people put a lot of plans together for retirement. Is this an area that you help people understand the difference of what they can and cannot control, and then how maybe to move from one side of that tightrope to the other?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we are able to show people, you can still be on the tightrope, just have a safety net.
Well, I know that, Tim, you put those plans together, no cost, no obligation. And part of that is generating enough income to provide some level of confidence in retirement. And that's another area where people have a lot of doubt and worry and concern of can I do this? Can I determine that income rate? Can I depend on that income rate? Income allocation will help address those questions and those areas that might otherwise be outside of our control.
Exactly. So, what we want for retirement income is, achieve the continued growth of the asset, but we also want preservation and protection. You want your cake and eat it too. Risk evaluation and then adjustment from there. Generate enough income to last a lifetime. Avoid overspending. Have a budget. Protect savings while simultaneously making withdrawals from those savings. Provide liquidity. If God forbid you need a new roof, a new car, you want to take that trip that you and your spouse have always wanted to take. Understanding, controlling, and minimizing tax. How do you stay underneath that? One of the big buzz terms right now is Roth conversion, right? So we go through an exercise and show people kind of what that looks like. And then lastly, do you want to, leave a legacy for the heirs and beneficiaries? With that, we might address it with some life insurance that would also have long-term care components to it, which is the best of both worlds in my mind.
Taking those one by one, Tim, the first one that you mentioned, it seems to me like those are opposite sides of the equation. Achieving continued growth versus preservation and protection. Those don't have to necessarily be opposed to one another and mutually exclusive. We can actually have some crossover area between those, correct?
I would agree with that. I mean, you're going to want to, you want to have both. I mean, for stability with the one side, and then obviously you need growth. We always tell our clients that, inflation is the silent thief, and you need to make sure that dollar that you are currently earning in 23 years is double. to stay up with inflation. And with the Fed pegging interest rates at 2.55 for a 5-year CD, you know, you know, that's not going to be very helpful to someone who's paying 2.50 in inflation going forward.
What about you mentioned risk of valuation and then adjustment. Talk to us about that and what you are seeing and what people currently have versus what is needed as far as risk and what is appropriate.
Well, a lot of times when people come in here with their statements, I'll notice that maybe they have a category of aggressive. And I'll say, well, are you aggressive? Well, not really. I mean, I filled that paperwork out when I first started with them, 15 years ago. Well, a lot has changed in 15 years. So we make sure that they take our Riskalyze software, and then by seeing what the number is, that can really ascertain what the true number is. That's huge.
Have a lot of people seen that kind of thing before, quantifying the level of risk that they're taking?
Not really. They'll take a survey, and then, the advisor, translates it and says, well, you're moderate aggressive, you're moderate conservative, what have you. This thing is like a speed limit sign. So the higher the number, the more aggressive it is. The lesser the number, the less aggressive it is. So those are, sometimes you have to make sure that you have help the person stop from hurting themselves.
And today, Tim, with where the market is, I mean, you've sort of been cautiously optimistic, I'll put it that way, about the market for the past several years. We saw a hiccup with COVID. And
Yes.
This was something that really rocked the economy, rocked the everyday routines of living. But the market seemed to bounce back very resiliently. Are we still sort of waiting for a regular business market cycle to occur?
It seems like most people think it's just going to keep going and going. Nothing's normal as to what they've done here so far. I mean, the Fed is, propping up this market, which is kind of artificial to me. Not kind of, it is. And so they're printing money at ever going pace here. And it just scares me because you need to make sure that you are cognizant of the fact that this might be just smoke and mirrors right now. And we need to have some triggers, downside protection, stop losses, that type of thing. And we talk about this all the time in our retirement class. So I would tell anyone who wants to come to that retirement class, or we can do a Zoom. We've also recorded it. There's some really good things in there that, I've been told by baby boomers, it's outstanding, makes them sleep better at night, that type of thing. So
if
give us a call, we'll get it to you.
Yeah, if you'd like to attend one of those upcoming, or if you'd like to watch a previously recorded one, or if you'd like a one-on-one planning strategy session, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, tax laws and controlling taxes is a priority for many savers and investors, especially those of us that have saved up a reasonable nest egg and accumulated some money. We want to be efficient with those dollars as much as possible. But right now, the talk is about taxes going up. I mean, that is the pervasive attitude and language. I can name probably 5 or 6 different taxes that they are talking about increasing in the future. State taxes, capital gains taxes, property taxes, income taxes. All of these they're not getting more favorable or in our favor to where it sounds like we're going to be able to keep as much of our money or nearly more of our money into the future. So this is something that's outside of our control. How do we take the steps over these next summer months as we're trying to relax, as we're trying to forget maybe about tax season behind us now, Tim? What are the things that we should be doing in order to take greater control and keep more of our money?
Well, I'd say starting with meeting with a CPA to kind of see how you're going to get ahead of it. Do not be reactive when it comes to taxes. Just like you had plans for your dollars that you've earned, so does the IRS. And you want to make sure that you understand maybe there's some Roth conversions out there. That's one of the activities that we go through in my retirement class. And we're happy to do that as a Zoom with people. And as I stated earlier, we've recorded it, so we can also shoot it out to people if they want to just see it. But yeah, I would definitely tell them, taxes are at their all-time low right now. they're all going to go up. And we ask our classes, and to a man or a woman, everyone says that taxes are going up.
And is that something that you're hearing a lot of concern about, Tim, from the savers, the investors across Chicagoland that you talk to and help?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's their biggest fear. What is your two biggest costs while you're retired? Taxes and medical expenses and that type of thing. Those are the things that we see are really top of the mind for most people. So we have to make sure that we are addressing that and the cost of that. And I will say this, Jeff, my partner, he has amazing ability to understand Medicare and Social Security, and yet put that across to a layman to make sure that they understand it as much as he does. It's really a great talent.
And you can help people, Tim, understand and quantify the amount that they may be responsible for taxes if tax laws don't change, but defaulting to the IRS's plan moving forward, and help them maybe identify some areas where they can keep more of their money.
Yes, exactly. How to be more efficient, whether that looks like muni bonds or maybe something tax deferred like an annuity. All those different things are some of the planning tools that we're going to use, so that they know exactly what they're looking at in retirement for the cost of living.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, all the areas that we can control, we should take those steps to address them and gain as much control as we can, because in the financial world, there are many elements and variables that we cannot control. And if we don't take those steps, our outcome can be determined by those. And so let's begin that planning process by first and foremost, talking to somebody that's got the experience, the professional qualifications, and the responsibility to put those best interests first and foremost when making recommendations and putting that plan together. That's what the Protect and Grow plan is all about. And Tim also makes the offer for the book, Income Allocation. This is an essential retirement planning strategy guidebook. Easy to understand language, by the way. You can read this and finish it in probably 2 hours, but it will give you a much better grasp on the issues that retirees face, that because of the status quo and the traditional way that we have been taught to plan, we are left exposed to that are not controllable. Let's determine more of our own outcome through the planning process, the Protect and Grow plan, and having that written income allocation. You can get that book, you can get that plan put together by calling 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, we always appreciate your time here on the program, the guidance that you provide. Thank you for being that resource for Chicagoland area savers and investors that we need.
It was my pleasure, Peter. Thanks.
Tune into Chicagoland Certified Financial Planner Tim Stearns' full radio program on 890 WLS every Sunday at 11 a.m. and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.